श्री आशीष सूद, 3 श्री मनजिंदर सिंह सिरसा, 4 श्री रविंद्र इंद्रराज सिंह, 5 श्री कपिल मिश्रा, 6 श्री पंकज कुमार सिंह। हस्ताक्षर प्रवीण कुमार राय, संयुक्त सचिव। अब मैं माननीय उपराज्यपाल महोदय से श्रीमती रेखा गुप्ता को मुख्यमंत्री पद की शपथ ग्रहण कराने का अनुरोध करता हूं।
मैं रेखा गुप्ता ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूँ कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगी। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगी। मैं मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगी तथा मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगी। मैं रेखा गुप्ता ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूँ कि जो विषय मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के समय निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष या अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगी।
अब मैं माननीय उपराज्यपाल महोदय से मंत्री परिषद के सदस्यों के मंत्री पद की शपथ दिलाने का अनुरोध करता हूं। श्री परवेश साहिब सिंह,
मैं परवेश साहिब सिंह ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता को अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा। मैं मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगा। मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगा। मैं परवेश साहिब सिंह ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि जो विषय मंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के सम्यक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगा। जय हिंद।
श्री आशीष सूद,
मैं आशीष सुशीला मदन गोपाल सूद ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता को अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा। मैं मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगा तथा मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगा। मैं आशीष सुशीला मदन गोपाल सूद ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि जो विषय मंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के सम्यक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगा। भारत माता की जय।
श्री मजिंदर सिंह सिरसा।
मैं ਮਨਜਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਿਰਸਾ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਸਹੁੰ ਚੁੱਕਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਥਾਪਿਤ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਸੰਵਿਧਾਨ ਲਈ ਸੱਚੀ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਅਤੇ ਵਫਾਦਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗਾ। ਮੈਂ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਭੁਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਅਖੰਡਤਾ ਬਰਕਰਾਰ ਰੱਖਾਂਗਾ। ਮੈਂ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਾਰਜਾਂ ਦਾ ਨੈਤਿਕ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਰਧਾਪੂਰਵਕ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਨਿਭਾਉਂਦੇ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਡਰ, ਪੱਖਪਾਤ, ਵੈਰ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਤੀ ਸੰਵਿਧਾਨ ਅਤੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਨਿਆਂ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ। ਮੈਂ ਮਨਜਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਿਰਸਾ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਸਹੁੰ ਚੁੱਕਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਅਧੀਨ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਜਾਂ ਵਿਅਕਤੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਅਜਿਹਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀਆਂ ਨਿਭਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਲਾਜ਼ਮੀ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਮੈਂ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਜਾਂ ਅਸਿੱਧੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਾਂਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਤੇ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ। ਭਾਰਤ ਮਾਤਾ ਕੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
श्री रविंद्र इंद्राज सिंह।
मैं रविंद्र इंद्राज सिंह ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा। मैं मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगा तथा मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगा। मैं रविंद्र इंद्राज सिंह ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि जो विषय मंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के समय निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगा। जय श्री राम।
श्री कपिल मिश्रा।
मैं कपिल मिश्रा ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूँ कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूँगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूँगा। मैं मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूँगा तथा मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूँगा। मैं कपिल मिश्रा ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूँ कि जो विषय मंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के सम्यक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूँगा।
श्री पंकज कुमार सिंह।
मैं डॉक्टर पंकज सिंह ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूँ मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूँगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता को अक्षुण्ण रखूँगा। मैं मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूँगा तथा मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के बीच संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूँगा। मैं डॉक्टर पंकज कुमार सिंह ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूँ कि जो विषय मंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब तक सिवाय जबकि ऐसे मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के सम्यक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूँगा। जय सिया राम।
अब मैं माननीय उपराज्यपाल महोदय से समारोह के समापन की अनुमति चाहता हूं। मैं सभी अतिथि गण से राष्ट्रगान हेतु अपने स्थान पर खड़े होने का अनुरोध करता हूं।
सब मिलकर घोष करेंगे, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, वंदे वंदे वंदे। दिल्ली के नए नेतृत्व को और नए मंत्रियों को आप सबके करतल ध्वनि के साथ ये नया दायित्व जिसकी आज शुरुआत होने जा रही है, आप सबके विश्वास के साथ, आप सबके सहयोग के साथ अपना आशीर्वाद जरूर दीजिए, करतल ध्वनि के साथ अपनी शुभकामनाएं दीजिए। ये दिल्ली उन दिल वालों के जिन्होंने आज का दिन हमें दिखाया है और आज के दिन से एक नई यात्रा वो शुरू हो रही है जो इस देश के यानी विकसित भारत की यात्रा में उसके केंद्र में एक महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका देश की राजधानी के रूप में दिल्ली निभाने के लिए तैयार भी है, तत्पर भी है और आप सबकी ऊर्जा, आपके संकल्पों को इसी रूप में साकार होने का अवसर मिलेगा। एक बार करतल ध्वनि के साथ आभार माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय का, आप सबके करतल ध्वनि के साथ बहुत बहुत आभार माननीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का, उनकी गरिमामयी उपस्थिति के लिए, उनके नेतृत्व के लिए, उनके उस विजन के लिए जो आज विकसित भारत के रूप में साकार हो रहा है। इसके साथ ही इस मंच पर गरिमामयी उपस्थिति माननीय केंद्रीय गृह एवं सहकारिता मंत्री आदरणीय श्री अमित शाह जी, माननीय केंद्रीय रक्षा मंत्री राजनाथ सिंह जी एवं अन्य सभी मंत्रीगण का बहुत बहुत आभार। आभार के लिए आपकी तालियों की दरकार है, आपकी तालियों की गूंज यहां तक आनी चाहिए। इस मंच पर आज इस कार्यक्रम में विभिन्न राज्यों के बहुत ही गरिमामयी उपस्थिति जिनकी रही, माननीय मुख्यमंत्रीगण, उप मुख्यमंत्रीगण, माननीय मंत्रीगण जिन्होंने अलग अलग राज्यों का प्रतिनिधित्व किया, हमारे माननीय सांसद और विधायकगण, अलग अलग क्षेत्रों की वो तमाम विभूतियां और उसके साथ साथ बाई मंच पर जो संत गणों की गरिमामयी उपस्थिति रही है, जिनका आशीर्वाद हम सबको मिलता है, आज भी मिल रहा है, उनका भी बहुत बहुत आभार, उनका भी बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। आज के इस आयोजन के माध्यम से दिल्ली की नए युग की स्वर्णिम युग का ये दिन जो हम सब आतुरता से जिसकी प्रतीक्षा कर रहे थे, उसकी शुरुआत इस रूप में हुई है आप सबकी गरिमामयी उपस्थिति में। तो आप सब
Well, that was the oath-taking ceremony of Rekha Gupta. Going across to my colleague Riyanka, joining us live from Ramlila Maidan. Riyanka, the oath-taking is done. 6 ministers along with Rekha Gupta have also been sworn in. And their next, or rather the first priority is to visit Yamuna Ghat.
Well, of course, we have in fact witnessed that significant of a grand oath-taking ceremony now culminating with Rekha Sharma taking oath as the Chief Minister of Delhi alongside Parvesh Verma, Ravindra Singh, Kapil Mishra and the leaders have now slowly moved out of the stage. And the next step, as we know from our sources, that this a new cabinet under the leadership of Rekha Gupta as the Chief Minister will be first moving to the Yamuna. They will take note of the situation there, because remember, cleaning of Yamuna was one of the biggest pulse of the ground that we had gotten during the elections, during the polling day. People wanted to see Yamuna. In fact, Kejriwal had promised the people for the last 10 years that clean Yamuna is something that he has given out. But this is BJP's topmost agenda. As the Council of Ministers, as the Delhi cabinet has been now formed, it is going to be the first agenda of the day of first agenda of the Rajnath Singh and all the Union cabinet ministers, in fact the chief ministers of the NDA rules. Grand event which is now culminated, and slowly all of the leaders have proceeded towards the exit gate, and so is the crowd slowly moving towards the exit gate. So now the new Delhi government has formed, and it is going to be on its to make Delhi a better place and make India a developed nation.
Right, Riyanka. Thank you for joining me with all those details. That was a star-studded event. The Prime Minister, the Union Home Minister, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, the BJP National President JP Nadda, along with all the NDA Chief Ministers were present, sharing the stage with Rekha Gupta in a display of political unity. And the moment will go down in history as Rekha Gupta took oath as the next Chief Minister of the national capital.
The 28th of February. Those of your innovative, research-driven, out-of-the-box ideas shall be reviewed by us, and those of you who are selected will get to present your ideas in Bharata Mandapam, New Delhi, in the august presence of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
Президент Юрий Ушаков.
And I've been saying that we're going to do
split here between these two parties as the former president sees now.
The Russia talks, your impression of how they went today, and if you're perhaps more confident or less confident of a deal after what happened today?
Well, much more confident. They were very good. Russia wants to do something. They want to stop the savage barbarianism. I mean, what's going on over there? It's soldiers are being killed by the thousands on a weekly basis. It's ridiculous.
As part of a peace deal with Putin, would you be willing to consider removing all American troops from Europe?
Well, nobody's asked me to do that, so I don't think we'd have to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. But that question's never really come up.
Sir, do you support stationing European peacekeeping troops in Ukraine as part of this peace deal?
If they want to do that, that's great. I'm all for it. If they want to do that, I think that'd be fine. I mean, I know France has mentioned it. Others have mentioned it. UK has mentioned it, but
in Florida, Trump acknowledged that $21 million was sent to India and also questioned the sending of such a huge amount of money for voter turnout in India. He also speculated that the person sending the money was trying to get someone else elected in India. Now, this comes at the heels of fresh allegations against US aid, where they've been alleged to topple governments across the globe. Listen in to US President Donald Trump.
And $21 million for voter turnout in India. What do we need to spend $21 million for voter turnout in India? Wow, $21 million. I guess they were trying to get somebody else elected. Well, we ought to tell the Indian government, because when we hear that Russia spent about $2 in our country, it was a big deal, right? They took some internet ads for $2,000. This is a total breakthrough. $21 million for India elections.
Viewers, you just heard US President Donald Trump, who acknowledged that indeed $21 million were pumped into India from the US aid to change the nature of the voter turnout and get someone else elected. Now, this comes fresh at the heels of multiple allegations against US aid, where they've been alleged of trying to influence voting and elections across the globe to topple governments that have a stronghold in various countries across the globe. And now US President Donald Trump has also acknowledged it. He said that why was there a need to spend or to send about $21 million to India to change.
मुझे दिल्ली राज्य की मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में कार्यभार देने पे मैं आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का धन्यवाद करती हूँ। मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में सरकार काम करेगी और निश्चित रूप में जितने भी वायदे हैं वो पूरे किए जाएंगे।
The grand oath-taking ceremony for Chief Minister-elect Rekha Gupta took place today at the Ramlila Maidan. The swearing-in ceremony was attended by top leaders and dignitaries from across the country. Following the death of a 20-year-old engineering student, a 3-member high-level committee has been constituted by the Odisha government, which visited the KIIT campus to probe into the matter. The committee includes office holders from Home Ministry, Women and Child Development and Education Department. The committee held discussions with various stakeholders on the matter.
As per the direction of the state government, we have visited the campus, including the hostel and other areas also we are visiting. And we will submit our report appropriately to government. We have also met the Nepal delegation. We had a discussion and the state government is fully committed to take action as per law.
The National Investigation Agency, along with the assistance of the local police, have arrested 3 more accused linked to the Visakhapatnam espionage case. The accused were allegedly sharing sensitive information with the terror organization ISIS. The accused have since been detained, bringing the total arrest count to 8 as further investigation continues. Following the state government's decision to reduce working hours for Muslim forces during Ramadan, Telangana Minister Poonam Prabhakar defended the special provisions, citing that they have existed for the past 25 years now. A row erupted over the decision as the minister criticized the BJP for politicizing. Sea of people and multiple vehicles. Red Cross vehicles that have arrived at the Gaza Strip, where Hamas is to hand over the bodies of 4 hostages who died while in captivity for over 477 days in the Gaza Strip at the hands of the militant group Hamas. This includes a 9-month-old baby's body, a 4-year-old child, a 32-year-old woman, and also an 83-year-old man. This comes as the truce deal between Israel and Hamas has reached its 5th stage. And earlier, hostages were also released by Hamas, while Palestinian prisoners were released from the side of Israel. And today, in just moments from now, Hamas will be releasing the bodies of 4 Israeli hostages. Red Cross vehicles have arrived at the Gaza Strip at the location in West Bank where the exchange is supposed to happen. Hamas will hand over the dead bodies of the 4 hostages who've been in captivity for over 477 days now and died in Hamas's captivity at the Gaza Strip. This is a continuation of what unfolded on the 7th of October in 2023. These are the live visuals on your screens. You can see Hamas militants standing firm with arms and Palestinian people, a sea of Palestinian people standing near the Hamas militants. In fact, vehicles of the Red Cross have also arrived at the Gaza Strip, and just in moments from now, Hamas will be releasing the remains of hostages, at least 4 of them. This includes a 32-year-old woman, a 9-month-old baby, a 4-year-old child, and an 83-year-old man. These visuals are live from Khan Yunis in the Gaza Strip, where Hamas is set to return the remains of 4 Israeli hostages in just moments from now. We're also being joined by Ariela Rosenthal, who is the head of International Relations, Ashdod Municipality, to get us more details onto the release that we're eyeing onto our screens. Ariela, thank you for speaking to Republic. Tell us more about this release. Remains of 4 Israeli hostages, extremely unfortunate, which are to be released by Hamas in just moments from now. Talk to us about it, Ariela.
Well, this is a very, very grieving day for the people of Israel, the Bibas family, and especially the children. That a 9-year-old was kidnapped along with his brother and the mother from the Gaza, from the 7th of October, from Nir Oz. It's a very, very hard day for the people of Israel. We are grieving. They are the symbol of the 7th of October, of the horrific acts done by the Hamas, their torture, their rape, and their murdering of the people of Israel. So the channels here in Israel have decided not to show the ceremony or this unspeakable thing that they are demonstrating in Gaza with the coffins of the 4 hostages that have been killed by the Hamas and are on their way to the Red Cross and from there to Israel. But this is a very, very sad, grieving day for the people of Israel, for our beloved ones that were murdered, all because of being Jewish by this terrorist, barbaric, jihadistic organization. This is a horrific day. This is very, very hard for us. This is...
Ariela,
I have no words.
Yes. Our hearts go out to everybody who are mourning this loss today. In fact, I also want to ask you, furthering the last question that I had, is Israel taking any steps in this direction now that at least 4 remains of 4 hostages are going to be brought back to the Israeli soil? Is there any statement from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu or his war cabinet, or are there any steps that Israel is eyeing after this?
Currently, last night, the Prime Minister Netanyahu made a statement to the people of Israel, where he says, of course, that the state of Israel is grieving and we are in pain, and that he and the cabinet and the government of Israel is determined to ensure that this will never happen again to the people of Israel and to the state of Israel. This is day of grief and mourn, and we are all united together, this morning. This is a very emotional thing for us. And I think we are putting this morning everything aside and no blame, just to bring them back. We will never know what happened that morning and when they were murdered in Gaza, because everybody around the world saw them bringing that the terrorists, took them from Nir Oz kibbutz into Gaza. So everybody saw them alive. What happened in Gaza is of course, of the Hamas. They killed them. Of course, they will come out and say that their death was because of the IDF and their bombardments, and they were killed. Of course, things will be checked here in Israel, and everything is, clarified and told. We don't keep our secrets. But everybody must be remembered that the Hamas is the one to be blamed, and they, the people, they came and they captured, people that were sleeping in their beds and just took them to captivity in Gaza.
Right, Ariella. Right. In fact, looking forward, what are we eyeing at in terms of the truce deal or the exchange deal for hostages to be continuing? It's already in the 5th phase, we know that. But looking forward, are we eyeing at a continued truce deal between Israel and Hamas?
I think there will be a continuation in the truce. And on Saturday, another 6 of the hostages that is actually, finishing the first phase of the truce. I know that now, along with the government, with Trump administration and Qatar and Egypt, are trying to see how we can actually continue the first phase in order for the other hostages to be released. When I understand from the media, that there are approximately another 54 hostages that are alive in the 74 that are still to come. So we have a long way, and every hostages must return to Israel. People must understand that we favor life and we honor our death. And we will never, never leave them in Gaza. Never, no more what. Right. Otherwise, we cherish life. And the Judaism, understand that even the families must bring back their dead so they will have where they can go to mourn on a tomb in the cemetery. We want to bury them.
Yes. Ariella, just hold your thought there just for a moment. Viewers, these are the live visuals on your screens where coffins that are carrying the remains of the 4 hostages are being transported and are being carried till the Red Cross vehicles that are waiting in Khan Yunis in the Gaza Strip. Live visuals on your screens. Unfortunate. Yes. About the ongoing deal.
These are live pictures coming in right now, and this is a very, very critical moment in the relationship, between both Israel and America, and the way Trump has intervened. These are live pictures coming in. Let me first speak over the pictures. These are Red Cross officials who are at Gaza Strip, and this is at the Khan Yunis where the live pictures are coming in from, where the Hamas is returning the remains of 4 Israeli hostages. You heard that very, very emotional message from Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday. He said it is going to be a very, very testing day for all of Israel and a turning point. He spoke about their hand sending out a message. The time is running out. Now, all of this is happening, of course, after Trump's intervention. Trump had given a deadline. 4 hostages were released, but now it appears that Hamas is also releasing 6 more on Saturday, 6 hostages who are alive on Saturday. And today the remains of the 4 hostages are being handed over to Israel. Let me tell you a little bit about the remains of those who are being handed over, or the remains of the hostages who are being handed over. One of them is Shiri Bibas. Shiri Bibas, a mother, her 2 children, Ariel and Kafir, bringing over. Look at that. That's the remains being brought in the coffin, cross in that SUV that you see there, placing the coffins, and those white, you see the white barriers there, just kept there as the remains were being placed into that SUV, which will now be moved from Gaza into Israel and officially handed over to the Israeli authorities. And these are live pictures coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Israel, so far, celebrated the return of 24 living hostages in the last few weeks in what has been a very, very shaky ceasefire that paused over 15 months of war. But this handover today, what is happening right now in front of your screens, this is a grim reminder of what has happened since October 2023. A reminder of those who died in captivity. Died or killed, we don't know. But Hamas terrorists claim that they were killed in an Israeli airstrike. Of course, nobody believes that. Nobody believes that they could have been killed in an airstrike because they are dead Lifshits. and his remains too is being handed over to the Red Cross, which will formally hand the remains back to the Israeli authorities. Look at that. As those video journalists of the Hamas move, you can see 4 more Hamas terrorists bring the remains of another Israeli hostage. You see that hostage there being brought in a coffin and being placed in another white SUV, which is backed up and is waiting for the coffin to be placed there. It will now be crossing over to Israel from the Gaza Strip. You see the black and the white barriers. There are white barriers placed so that the cameras don't really get a shot of the bodies being removed from the coffin. They will be removed from the coffin. The remains are being taken out of the coffin and placed onto another makeshift, a casket and kept there inside that white SUV before it crosses over. Now, these are grim images. And I just heard, the panelist who's also joining us live from Israel, from Ashdod, she was telling us a little bit more about, what this moment means for Israel and how difficult this particular moment is for them. And that's Ariela Rosenthal. Ariela Rosenthal is the head of international relations at Ashdod municipality. A very, very difficult moment, Ariela, as we look at these pictures. Tell us, I just want to hear from you, how difficult has it been for Israel to deal with this moment? You've been preparing for it. It was public knowledge that there were 4, remains that will be handed over. Some children, one 83-year-old, a senior citizen, right? Very, very, very grim images coming in.
It's a very, very hard time for the state of Israel. We have been, since the 7th of October, going through a very hard time, trying every way to bring back our hostages. Yes, we did know for a long time that it may be that the Bibas family and more have been cruelly killed and murdered in captivity. But you never get ready for such a moment. I want you to understand, if you look how we cherish life and we try to, and we raise up our children with morals of love and understanding and accepting the other. Israel is a multicultural country that cherishes and praises life. And when you look now at the ceremony here in Gaza, where you see children with guns and praising such a sick ceremony and putting in this propaganda and these silent, praises of praising death and killing and brutality. This is something sick. I'm sorry.
An infant was held hostage. An infant who perhaps died or was killed for several months. And his body, the infant's body, was kept by Hamas in all these months, and they didn't return even an infant's body. Let that sink in. If you're watching this live coverage, let that sink in. An infant's body was kept with Hamas in all of these months, and they are returning it now. And this is the tragedy of this war. And like our colleague from Israel was saying, there are children there, and I saw many children just running around with guns there at Gaza. You can see children, youth, many of whom in their teens, many of whom below the age of 15, many of whom I just saw some anywhere between 5 to 15 years of age, they're running around holding guns. This is the tragedy of the war that we are witnessing in Gaza. And the 4 SUVs that you see there with the 4 coffins of the 4 hostages, the remains of the 4 hostages have been loaded, and they will now move towards Israel, and the remains will be handed over to Israel in a short while from now. Once again, Kafir Bibas, I'm repeating the name. Kafir Bibas was 9 months old. 9 months old. And from the description that we have of Kafir Bibas, just 9 months old, a red-headed infant, a toothless smile, when terrorists stormed into the family's home on the 7th of October 2023. His brother Ariel was 4 years old. And a video shot that day showed a terrified Shiri, the mother, swaddling the two boys as terrorists led them into Gaza. Those pictures were there as well. So this is a story to tell that after 15 months, 16 months of the war, their bodies are being handed over. A mother and her two children and an 83-year-old. Those SUVs of the Red Cross are just lining up. They will now merge into a convoy that will move from Gaza and proceed into Israel. And the husband of Shiri, who along with her two boys have been killed in Hamas custody. Her husband Yarden Bibas was also taken separately by Hamas terrorists. He too was kidnapped, but Yarden Bibas was released this month after 16 months in captivity. And relatives in Israel were clinging on to hope in all these months, marking the first and the second birthdays of the 9-year-old infant, who was 9-month-old, I beg your pardon, when he was picked up by Hamas, kidnapped by Hamas. And the Bibas family had said that it would wait for identification procedures before acknowledging that it was indeed their loved ones who were dead. We don't know whether it is actually their loved ones or what is being claimed by the Hamas. And, to show solidarity, supporters throughout Israel have worn orange, showing solidarity with the family, a reference to the two boys and the physical appearance. They had red hair, and a popular children's song was written in their honor. We're taking a short break here on Republic TV, but those are the pictures of the remains of the 4 Israeli hostages. They were killed in Hamas custody. Hamas terrorists didn't spare a 9-month-old, a 4-year-old, an 83-year-old, and a mother of the 2 children. They are returning to Israel in caskets, in 4 coffins. Taking a break.
That the Republic Plenary Summit is being held on March 6th. I've been a participant in the summit in earlier years. It's a remarkable event. I wish it all the best and all success.
Президент Юрий Ушаков.
I've been saying that we're going to do
split here between the two parties as the former president sees now.
The Russia talks, your impression of how they went today, and if you're perhaps more confident.
But having troops over there would be fine. I would not object to it at all. And I'm very disappointed. I hear that, they're upset about not having a seat. Well, they've had a seat for 3 years.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
Se acordó el recibir 299 personas que venían de Estados Unidos para que fueran repatriados a sus respectivos países de orígenes y que esto se iba a hacer a través de la Organización Internacional de las Migraciones y el ACNUR, ambas oficinas de Naciones Unidas. Como manera de prevención, estas personas no pueden circular por nuestro país precisamente para garantizar la seguridad y la paz de los ciudadanos panameños. Nosotros les brindamos a ellos todas las atenciones necesarias, médicas, alimenticias, ¿verdad? Y de comodidad, y lo seguiremos haciendo hasta que el último de ellos salga de nuestro país, que es lo que se pactó con el gobierno de los Estados Unidos.
The Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries. Category 1. Science, Technology and Space.
I'm excited to hear about the proposals that have been submitted at the Youth Hackathon at the Republic Plenary, and I can't wait to see them and discuss them and look forward to transforming India with these limitless possibilities.
Good afternoon, viewers. You're watching Republic TV, and I am Rakshita Mishra with you on Live and Breaking. Let's take a quick look at all the headlines at this hour.
मैं रेखा गुप्ता ईश्वर की
Group Hamas returns the remains of 4 Israeli hostages, including a mother and her 2 children.
And $21 million for voter turnout in India. What do we need to spend $21 million for voter turnout in India?
Unquote, viewers. This is a big indication, once again, that US intends to, in fact, expose the meddling in the polls in India. He has confirmed the meddling, and now he has said, at least that was what he has said, he has claimed that he will tell the Indian government about it. And he also says that it seems they were trying to get someone else elected. So this entire role of the deep state, viewers, is coming to the surface layer by layer. It's all being unpeeled. We are seeing how the US government, the US president is out in the open calling out the role of deep state and the interference, the foreign interference in India and of course in other countries as well has been confirmed by the US now. Remember, this controversy had broke out after Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE, revealed the planned allocation, leading to political debate in India as well. Trump supported DOGE's decision to cancel the funding, the USAID funding, the $21 million funding, and he expressed the respect for Prime Minister, also questioning the necessity of the grant to India, grant to many other countries in Asia, he says, and other, of course, continents as well. And the important part is when he says that the US was trying to get somebody else elected. My colleague Deepak, in fact, is joining us live on the broadcast from our digital studio. He'll try and help us understand more about this. Deepak, this is, of course, another big statement from the United States president. And one by one, we see that the lens is now only on the USAID funding. And we need to understand that all these layers are slowly being peeled off.
That's right, Rakshita. Ever since the Department of Government Efficiency cut out funding on various, fronts. One of the most prominent, aspects that came to light was the fact that $21 million was being spent on influencing voter turnout. And US President Donald Trump has also said that this is a big development, it's a big breakthrough, and that the Indian government must be informed about it. So let's help our viewers understand what Donald Trump was telling us and also what this means. Because $21 million, as claimed by the DOGE report, goes on to clearly show that there was indeed foreign meddling in Indian elections. And this funding was given to influence the voter turnout. And Donald Trump clearly says that there was a bid to replace the ruling dispensation. That means they wanted somebody else to come to power. That's what Donald Trump said. Now, let me take you through the quotes of what Donald Trump has said. Donald Trump has said that, why do we need to spend $21 million on voter turnout in India? And furthermore, he goes on to say that this is indeed a big breakthrough. They were trying to get somebody else elected. This is the statement that Donald Trump has said, and he will be released very, very soon. That's what Donald Trump has been hinting at. And this is what he has said, that it's a big breakthrough and the Indian government must be informed about it.
Thanks so much, Deepak, for joining us and with that explanation of that story, viewers. In fact, Donald Trump is time and again now flagged ever since he has taken oath for the second time as the President of the United States. Viewers, India has spent more money in their own elections than even US have in the presidential elections. And the voter turnout has also been greater. So where was this money going? Why was this money being sent to India? That is the big question. Take a listen once again to what Donald Trump exactly said.
And $21 million for voter turnout in India. What do we need to spend $21 million for voter turnout in India? Wow, $21 million. I guess they were trying to get somebody else elected. Well, we ought to tell the Indian government, because when we hear that Russia spent about $2 in our country, it was a big deal, right? They took some internet ads for $2,000. This is a total breakthrough. $21 million for India elections.
Right, viewers, we have Mr. Alok Bansal, geopolitical expert, joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Bansal, well, US government has now confirmed that there was meddling in India, and the highlight of this is that why does India need $21 million? And that fact remains that India has spent billions and billions of dollars, if you talk about the currency. India has spent more money, and India has had a slightly greater turnout for its own elections in 2024. Well, where was this money going? Who was receiving it is the big question. And that Trump says that it seems that someone else, they were trying to get someone else elected.
See, there is no doubt that Government of India Election Commission has been incentivizing or trying to educate the voters to come and cast votes. So there is no need absolutely for a foreign agency to get involved in persuading Indian voters to go and vote. They could have done as well in the United States. The fact of the matter is, what was their purpose is very clearly articulated by what President Trump has said. They probably wanted a regime change. And this is quite evident if you see the breakdown of the money that's been given by USAID. You'll find that after Ukraine, the highest amount of money was given to Bangladesh. And what was the result? We saw a regime change. So wherever this money was being given to bring about a change. And this was not being routed through State Department or anything. USAID was acting, I don't know at whose behest. And this is very important.